Let me first take this very early opportunity to condemn the violence that was meted on Team Buzeki last night, and to point out my director of elections was the target of the violence that was meted on the vehicle he was traveling in last night at around 8:30 to 9 p.m. So we are here at Eldoret police station, Central Police Station. We've just had almost a half an hour meeting with the senior officers here, and we have discussed a broad spectrum of issues relating to election violence, and specifically the violence that was meted on our people last night. The ugly face of electoral violence was seen again in Uasin yesterday, and for myself and my team, we are quite saddened that a vice we all thought we had overcome has shown up its ugly head again yesterday. The exact location where this violence occurred is a place that has repeatedly been mentioned on matters to do with brutality and matters to do with electoral violence. In 2017, I think it's well within the record of everybody that violence was again meted on my team in the exact location. And just to be very specific, that location is just outside Silver Hotel. Silver Hotel has become the nexus of political hostility in Eldoret town and Uasin. The people who stoned the vehicle that my director of elections was traveling in last night are people who are known. They are people who have been involved in cases of violent political acts, and just to give reference to the concluded UDA nominations, where a candidate, Mr. Bitok, who was contesting the gubernatorial seat, was brutally manhandled by a team that represented or are supporters of his opponent, and that matter is well documented in Naiberi police station, where his vehicles were damaged, where he himself was at the point of being clobbered by his competitor, who was also an aspirant in the nomination. In his own recorded statement at Naiberi, his competitor came out with a rungu and smashed the windscreen of his vehicle. We have repeatedly voiced out very loudly the underlying evil plans being orchestrated by some political actors in Uasin Gishu. And it does not surprise anybody that NCIC mentioned Uasin Gishu as a hotspot. I think that they are right. It's now been confirmed that there are political actors who are now planning violence because they have sensed defeat. And these are actually the last kicks of a dying horse. I have talked to my entire supporters the whole night. I did not sleep for a minute, restraining them and telling them that we are peace-loving people, And I have told them that the best we can do is to be able to bring this matter to the hands of the authorities, specifically the police, who are well in charge of ensuring the safety of each one of us. And just to also mention that the police have somehow been a letdown in Uasin Gishu. I need to put that on record, and we have told them as such. We didn't mince words. We told them they have to rise up and protect the institution that they represent. We know a case of a young man who was a social media blogger for Ambassador Bitok, popularly known as Barmuriat, who was manhandled by some of these hooligans. And they took away his laptop, took away his phones, and the matter was reported in this police station. The culprit was apprehended, came to the police, and was released the following day under circumstances that could not be explained by the head of commanding station Central. So as we speak today, somebody else has taken items belonging to his brother in this town and is using them to the detriment of the rightful owner, and his country, Kenya, his security operators, Uasin Gishu and Central, have not made any effort to arrest and prosecute the culprit who apprehended and stole and brutally took his accessories. I think in the penal code that would be described as an assault, and it would actually be a capital offense because it's robbery with violence. But somebody who did robbery with violence is still roaming the Eldoret streets unchallenged, and these are the same people who have now become bolder and more aggressive, and they are now ready to make sure that we do not have a peaceful election on the 9th of August. The whole of this drama that has now started is not a sporadic attack. It's a planned scheme that has milestones and timelines that will be executed in the coming days to make sure that the people in Uasin Gishu will not have the peace and tranquility to be able to do their civil duty of electing the leaders that they have been persuaded by the manifestos that we sell to elect. I think there are certain statements that I have made before. When I was in the Citizen TV interview, I think the issue of insecurity and certain actors who are operating clandestine and unorthodox groups who want to disparage the security of others was well mentioned. And I came out very clear that there are certain individuals who have been recruited to upset the peace of the peace-loving people of Uasin Gishu. Some of these individuals are the ones who stoned our team vehicle last night. And for your information, once our team vehicle had been stoned, immediately the driver stopped the vehicle. There are 10 people who came carrying batons, as we popularly call miti ya jembe. And the miti ya jembe were removed from a premio that we are just trying to get the number plate right now. This miti ya jembe was used to beat boys in a place called Tendwo when the Kenya Kwanza team were doing their road shows. The same miti ya jembe was used to beat young people in a place called Dries, which is just the neighboring shopping center to my house in Ainapkoi, because they clearly showed their political inclination was to Buzeki, and they were beaten using batons, as we popularly call miti ya jembe. So we have told the police that we are restraining ourselves. We are going to abide by the peace that we want in Uasin Gishu, but we have equally and very strenuously emphasized to them that they must arrest the culprits who injured our driver, who endangered the life of my director of elections, and they need to act very swiftly so that frustration does not take control and things get out of hand, and then they will be held responsible for the aftermath of what may take place if they do not take action. But they have promised us that they are going to take action today. They have said immediately after this press conference, we are going to the site, the venue where this brutal act and this very despicable act took place last night. We have also told them that we feel the police in this unit have been compromised. We have told them as much. Because within our own intelligence, these people who have been hired to create chaos, they are heard speaking very loudly and chest thumping within the streets of Eldoret that they have a layer of safety net, which is the police who are cushioning them. We have told the police to come out and condemn this violence. Otherwise, then we will have a lot of unanswered questions that will need to be addressed sooner than later. As we summarize, we are going to stand for peace. We will protect and we will advocate, and I will be the face of unity, the face that will champion the building of a cohesive society in Uasin Gishu, and anything short of that will not be the making of Team Buzeki. It would be the making of others, and specifically our competitors. Our competitors have sensed defeat. They do not have a manifesto to sell. Our competitors have a plan to meet violence on people of Uasin Gishu in the next 10 days to make sure that they scare some voters so that they do not exercise their civil duty of voting on the 9th of August. And we want to call upon the security apparatus within the national government. If our local security deployment does not have the adequate capacity and determination to ensure that they go beyond the line of duty to guarantee the safety of all the residents of Uasin Gishu so that they can be able to vote and exercise their civil duty on the 9th, then we are calling for backup from national government. We want backup in Uasin Gishu, and we need it now before it's too late. Because what happened yesterday is just a clear indication that we are lined up for some hostility in the days to come. So thank you very much, and I'll be willing to take one or two questions if you may like.
In your statement that you issued on your Facebook page, you say that Ngunism has resurfaced or re-emerged. What was going through your mind when you gave that statement?
I think I was just being quite clear. I didn't want any ambiguity. These are goons. These are hired bandits to attack other people. Who would stone a vehicle traveling at night that does not even have a sound system? They are just driving. You can only be a goon and a bandit to be able to do that. So it's good to be able to name those people for who they are. And I just wanted to shoot that straight, to tell these people you are goons, and we are going to defeat you before you defeat the peace and tranquility that we have in Uasin Gishu.
Yes.
Maybe lastly, what are you putting in stake to make sure that your voters maintain peace during this election?
First, to start with first, my voters have always been very peaceful. Have never been on record as somebody who has instigated any violence of any nature whatsoever. So I think for me, that question would be better placed to my competitors. Maybe they'll call you for a press conference. You know, we do not intend to breach peace. And the people who have always shown intentions of breaching peace, including singing war songs in the streets of Eldoret at daylight. It was known in 2017. When you come and sing a war song in town in broad daylight, I mean, is that not breaching peace? So the people who breach peace and the hypocrites who hide, you know, once the cameras are off, they plan clandestine, barbaric acts to injure others are well known, and it's not in my team. They are in the other team.
It was later when the vehicles were stolen. Do you think they were monitoring your movement, and how did they know that your vehicle was passed there?
You know, I think these people were monitoring us the whole day, because when we had the campaigns during the day, their vehicle appeared in two of our campaigning locations. They came to Kipsombe. In the middle of us campaigning, we could hear some of their songs, you know, coming out of their sound systems, and that was a disruption, of course. And you know, we just thought maybe it was just one-off cases. But when we went to the second political rally, the same vehicle also appeared, and we said this is not a coincidence. And for us to be stoned at night is not a coincidence either. So these people are trailing us, and these people are funded by senior leaders here, who sooner than later their names will come out, because they are the ones who are feeding these people, buying them free food, free ugali, free vegetables, for them to have the energy to hit on their brothers. And I want to tell the owners of Silver Hotel, I'm coming here as governor to promote your businesses. Please tell the goons to steer off your business premises, because they are smearing a brand that would otherwise have potential to grow to be a 5-star hotel. But it's now not looking very good, because these people are being fed in that same hotel where these acts of hooliganism are happening.
Mheshimiwa, the last question. I know this is the territory of UDA. You are independent. Maybe what are you doing so that you can get maximum votes from this region?
I think, you know, there is no territory that belongs to anyone, because kura ni siri, and democracy is what we know prevails at the end of the day. For me, as an independent candidate, I have a clear manifesto that so far has given me a huge following. Not so much because I'm liked individually. I mean, that liking can be argued, but the manifesto I have sold to the people who are Zingishu has been bought in the numbers, in the thousands, and this is what will make us win the election. And the reason why you see I'm under a barrage of so many actors coming to say we don't want these people is because they do not have an agenda on the table. So the only agenda in Uasin Gishu is the agenda of the independent candidate Buzeki, called Uongozi ni Sera. That is the agenda that is going to create jobs for the youth. That is the agenda that plans to bring fertilizer. That is the agenda that will make sure that you will be respected for being a voter in this county, not because of the name that is in your identity card. We want to ensure that Uasin Gishu represents the face of the bigger Kenya, so that we bring all hands on deck and we all work towards building the economy of this county and ensuring that every voter feels that they are part and parcel of Uasin Gishu County. That, among so many others that we plan to do, is what the people of Uasin Gishu are going to vote for, and we are confident that on the 9th of August, by the 10th, we will be telling our brothers to get off the offices quickly because we want to start the work in earnest. And that is evident in the rallies that we go, and it's evident in the responses we are getting. And it's also a reflection of the people you see here. I didn't call anybody to come here, but they know that we are going with this thing home.